What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G alongside Mal, and this is the A Couple of Things podcast where we're here to talk about
quadruple things.
a few things. Yeah. Anything before we get started? No.
Do we have any life updates?
I ain't giving these people my life updates.
No. We are moving soon though, so there will be a new background for anybody who's a consistent. Anybody who's a consistent viewer, there will be a new podcast setup.
Yeah.
Moving next door to a nicer apartment. But yeah, I don't know what our backdrop's gonna be. Definitely not this blue thing no more though. Well, I don't even know why we got this. This was like a what do you call it?
That's because you wouldn't let me get what I wanted.
Well, this was like us moving here was kind of like a work in progress. Like it was just kind of it was like a rough draft. Our next place is gonna be really what we want. Like, the concrete table, the black couch. It's gonna be hard. But this was like a little our first spot. It still was cute for our first spot. Most people's first spots don't look like this, so most people's first spots isn't their first time living in it. They're being the first tenants either. And next door we're gonna be the first tenants in our unit also. Look at us. So that means we gotta keep the trend in. Our first house gotta be just us being the first people into the house too. Look at us. So inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inspired by us. Anyways.
Anything else?
No. It's gonna be a hectic next month. This month's gonna be hectic. Our wedding in 2 weeks. Then we're going on a mystery vacation that he planned and booked, and I have no idea where we're going. Then after that, we're moving, and then right after that, I'm starting a new job. So it's about to be very chaotic. Next 4 weeks of my life, it's gonna be very chaotic. But we got this. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun, hectic time. Mostly fun though, because moving's not gonna be hectic. We don't have a lot of stuff. It's just I don't feel like doing it. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. Anyways.
Good.
Yeah. We're gonna get into
Let's do it.
Topics.
You can lead this one because
What? Oh, okay. So we're gonna start in order. So the first topic that I have for us to talk about today, is just a question: are healthy relationships boring? And the reason why I came up with the topic is because I saw it's always Twitter, right? It's always Twitter. I think a little bit on TikTok too, but it was mostly Twitter, where somebody was saying how they feel like healthy relationships are boring. And some people were like, that's not boredom, that's peace. And some people was like, yeah, it's peace, but some people were like, it's still boredom. And it just had me thinking, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like people's definition of boring, we got to start with that as the root. But to answer the question first, are healthy relationships boring? I think it depends on the relationship. I think if you are in a fun relationship and you like the person that you're with, that it doesn't get boring. Because I feel like that's a lot of people's issues. They equate peace to boredom because a lot of people like the toxicness, right? Like some people actually said they like the toxicness. They like the fighting, the yelling, the jealousy, the sneaking around, the going through the phones. They think that's fun. I don't think that's fun. It's toxic. It's draining. It affects your physical and mental health. I don't like it.
they're just replicating what their parents did.
Yeah, that's the thing. People seen their parents arguing in the house, and that's what they think is normal.
That's their comfort zone.
And that's what they feel like it's love, and that's how they feel like a relationship is supposed to look like. So I'm like, that's crazy to me that people interpret healthiness as boring. Because my whole question too, when people try to say that relationships when they're healthy, they're boring, or people say, do relationships get boring? Why do people put relationships in their own bracket? Because you wouldn't say that your lifelong friendships get boring. No one ever questions, do friendships get boring? No one ever questions that. No one questions, does the relationship with your parents get boring? Does the relationship with your sisters and brothers get boring? Does the relationship with your aunts and uncles get boring? So why is it that relationships are in their own bracket when no one ever looks at any form of relationships in that way, except romantic? Like if you like the person you're with, how would it ever get boring? It would be the equivalent to having a best friend for life. Like you wouldn't say that your people who are like your grandma's still friends with her friend that she has since college, and they're both in their 90s. They wouldn't be like, this friendship is boring now. This is boring. Like, so why is relationships in its own different category? Like, I don't get it. But like you just said, I think you answered that great. It's like you said, like that's what they're used to. They're used to that toxicness. So when they see that, they're like, all right, now what? But that's because I feel a lot of people don't form relationships out of actually liking each other. So they just form it as like out of either like lust and out of arguing. So when those two things disappear, they're like, now what?
I also think people's reasonings for being in a relationship are different than they really should be based on the person at the end of the day. It really should be who this person is at their core.
Yeah.
And then all the other things like money and all that other stuff comes after the fact. But I don't think people tend to get into relationships for the right reasons, and so that's why they end up feeling bored with them, because
That's true.
like what you're trying to gain out of the relationship, it was flawed in the first, and like the whole point of it was flawed in the first part. So like you're not even in love with the person, right?
Yeah.
Like you're kind of in love with the idea of the person or what you feel like they can do for you.
Yeah.
So that's like the number one thing, is you're not even with the person for the right reason. So like
Yeah.
you don't really want them to be your piece. You don't want them, like with people, that's the crazy part. People don't even want all of the actual true benefits that come with being in a relationship, and that's being with the person themselves, not necessarily what they do for you even. Like that's not who the person is. Like that's not, to me, who the person is. Like what somebody can offer you is not who the person is. It's all of the other intangibles that makes a person who they are. Like the personality traits, caring, and the actual feeling of someone loving you by like the things that they say, like the words of affirmation, basically all of the different things where they say like your love language.
Yeah.
I don't think people actually like those things. They just like the idea of somebody like, oh, like to me, money should almost be a non-factor in a relationship, low key. Like it shouldn't even really necessarily be a conversation piece, because if that becomes your focus, whatever you put your focus on in a relationship, is this is what you want out of it, that's going to be the same thing that hurts you too.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I get it for people to be like, oh, like, well, we have to talk about money in this world. It's like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't, because, like, realistically, you shouldn't depend on anybody financially. Like, everything that you need for yourself you should provide for yourself. That's it. So there should be no, like, goal of looking for somebody with money when you're dating.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like really grateful that me and you met when we did. Because I just can't imagine. Like, I think love doesn't become as authentic as it does when you're young and have nothing to gain from it. Like, I think about like our relationship, right? And I think about like our friends' relationship, like how they met in 8th grade. For me, these relationships feel more authentic because there was nothing to gain from it. You just love the person because you love them. Like, you were genuinely building a bond. Like, there was no, oh, can this person buy me this in 8th grade or senior or freshman in college? There was no, can this person buy me this? Can this person provide for me? Like, it was just like we like each other, our personalities match, and I feel like the love is real. So I feel like I'm just thankful that we didn't have to date in this climate, because I feel like that your relationships have less and less chance of being authentic the older you get.
Yeah, and to answer the original question, are healthy relationships boring? I think that, yeah, they can be, but I think that they're boring if the people are not compatible. Yeah. Because I think if you're compatible with the person that you're with, it'll always be fun somehow, some way. Like you can find fun in watching something simple, mundane, like a movie, or just telling jokes with each other, or just being goofy. Like all of those different things will make something not feel boring, but you don't actually really like the partner, in my opinion. So that's why when there's not money being spent, or there's some activity that you're doing, when you're just sitting with each other together, that's why people feel bored, because they don't actually even like the person. They just like for whatever that they could do for them. And that's what I would consider it to be, like the thing that would make something boring, is just you just don't like each other. Yeah. Or you might just be boring people. Like, so they can be, but for the most part, they don't have to be. Like, I also think that money does have a factor in that as well. Like if you have more money, you're going to have more things to do. Yeah. But whether you have money or not, if you find yourself being bored, like at all, just in general with your partner, then that's a compatibility issue in my opinion.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Like, we had to think about like what boredom is to people. Because like, does life get boring? Like, yeah, boringness is like a part of life. But it's like the relationship itself is not boring. It's almost like when I person was breaking down like marriage, where she's like, marriage isn't hard. She said life is hard, but marriage isn't hard. That's why I feel relationships don't get boring, but life could get boring. So yeah, but it's like, what do you do in those boringness? Like in our mundane everyday, what could be considered boredom, but we're enjoying that mundaneness. We're enjoying that boredom because we like each other. We're watching a YouTube video. We're watching a funny Netflix video, right? We're watching a scary movie, like you said. We're laughing. We're just making jokes. We're talking about life. We're talking about our days. You know, it's not boring.
I think it depends too. Like for me, actually, to be completely honest, I don't think I've actually been bored since I was in high school, because there's so many different things that I need to do on a daily basis. Like my weekends aren't even a time to relax. Like I'm always still constantly doing something. Like I haven't been bored in since high school.
That's a good point. Boredom, honestly, to me equals that you don't have nothing going for yourself. You don't have a life.
Low key in a way, because I always have something to do, right? Like we just came from a family event, and then like you know.
And while in the car, I'm studying for the CPA exam.
And like, then tomorrow, obviously, I have to edit this, which is probably gonna take like 8 hours to do.
Food shopping.
There's always something for me to do. So I don't ever, even if something's mundane to me, I haven't felt boredom since high school, because that's like I really had nothing to do. I had no, even with extracurriculars, like. I'm done at 5 o'clock. Like if I was doing some sort of extracurricular activity, like I wasn't so busy. So yeah, I might have been bored, especially in the summer. You know, I'm not over people's houses every day, so maybe there might be some boredom that kicks in there. But I haven't been bored since high school. Ever since then, there's always been something to do.
Honestly, for me, it probably been not even since then, because I've like maybe some of those summers.
Relaxing ain't boring to me. Like I'm enjoying.
That's the thing. People don't like themselves, so they don't enjoy their time with themselves, and then they don't like their partner, and they don't enjoy their time with their partner.
So they need some sort of stimulation to not feel bored. But yeah, I don't think healthy relationships are boring, because our relationship at this point is extremely healthy, and we do tons of fun shit, whether we're spending time here or we're traveling the world somewhere.
I never feel bored. Like I'm never like, bored. I'm bored in this. Yeah. Like I literally look forward to you coming home every day. Like my mom, when I was on FaceTime, she's like, "Why are you looking out the window for him? Are you pregnant?" I'm like, "No, like I'd like the person I'm with."
Yeah, why are you looking out the window like a dog?
Because I was just sitting here and I was like, let me see if he's home. And I looked at the windows and I was like, "Oh, he's home."
That's so sad.
I get excited to see you every day. That's like a sign of a healthy relationship.
That's so sad. Did you like tap on the glass? Like,
I waved and you didn't see me wave.
You put your hand on the glass. You know what's funny? Actually, every time I come home, like I look in the window, but I can never tell. No, I just can never tell. If there's any movement, like it's kind of hard.
No, I was actually I literally like pulled the blind back and I was like, wait, because
I didn't see that.
Because I remember that person was in your spot, so I was watching.
Oh, yeah. I always look up here.
But I literally look forward to you coming home. I look forward to coming home from work. Like you know, if I'm in the office, or was like I'm sure maybe you feel the way like that way too. Like when you're at work.
I hate being at work.
Like and then you see some people work as their escape because they don't like their partners. Like
for me it's the opposite. Like I love being here. Like this is my comfort zone. This is my peace.
Yeah.
So I'm never bored.
And that's the thing too. Like we mentioned. Like I feel like you said. The basis is people don't like their partners, but there's so much like I think about right now, right? Like there's so much to look forward to. Like we were just on a ride down to your family's party, right? We're talking about all the places we want to travel to within the next 3 years, right? And so we just have like, we watch videos all the time about there's so many places to go. We're never gonna run out of places to go, like for the end of life. So it's like that's for me is something to always look forward to is a new trip that we constantly do, right? Me and you, we have a running food list, an extensive food list of all the restaurants we want to try, an extensive date list of all the dates we want to go. Like we keep a constant list of things to do, and also too like. We have a whole next stage of our life to look forward to. Like raising a family together, that's fun to me. Like that doesn't seem like it's gonna be bored. Like I'm gonna be fun, like going through teaching our kids how to walk. The first time they say mama or dada, right? Like the first time like they're doing stuff, and then even them going to college, like that's 18 plus years now to look forward to. All the new things that your kids are going to be able to, all the experience that we have, be able to introduce our kids to that. Like how do people not think that's fun? Like how to like in people's mind does that get boring when you're constantly looking forward to a new stage in your life? Then after that, after your kids grow up, you look forward to retirement together. So there's constantly, I feel like there's constantly something to look forward to. That I don't know how people get bored. They just don't like their person.
Yeah, I think there was, I forget some rich person said this, but I do tend to agree with it. If you aren't getting money, you're not allowed to be bored. Exactly. Because you should be focused on getting some money. Yeah. So how you bored and got no motion is kind of how it would translate to today's language. Like you got no motion. Yeah. You're probably crying on the internet about your finances, but you're bored. Like you're not allowed to be bored and you don't have things going for you. Those two things can't happen. Hold up, let me finish. Sorry. Those two things can't happen. And also the only other way you're allowed to be bored is if you actually have money.
And that's what I was about to say. If you have money,
if you have
you're
too
not
much
bored
money
because
and
you
you've
can go
done
places.
if you've accomplished everything, like you travel everywhere all the time and you're doing a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of different experiences all the time, then you could be bored
Yeah.
because it's how it could get repetitive, right?
Yeah.
After a certain point, of course, there's a million different things we haven't done in New York, but sometimes we've been so much and done so many different things. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
but then what do, right? We sat down, brainstormed, add a whole bunch of additional things, and now you go continue to knock those off. So even then, but for somebody that's rich or wealthy, they definitely can be bored, but
Yeah.
they're basically the only people that are allowed to be bored.
Yeah.
If you don't got motion, if you complain about money, if we see the numbers, so we know it's a lot of people, then you're not allowed to be bored. And in general in life, but also in your relationship.
If you're bored, go get a new certification. Go
do something.
Go back to school.
You haven't accomplished everything that there is in this life, so there's no reason for you to be bored unless you just don't have ambition. But I think most people don't. So
and I think most people don't either, and that's why the money.
Because you see it, right, with people's work ethic in the gym. Like I was just remember that girl that posted that woman. I gotta condition myself to not say girl. That woman that posted that picture of her back, and everybody wanted her back.
Yeah, that with the dress.
Somebody was saying how to get it, and I'm like, I see this stuff all the time, right? Like,
what's your workout routine?
No, like, hold up. Like, everybody will cling on to stuff like that and download so-and-so's new workout plan that's going to make you look like XYZ. I swear 99% of the time, the people that are buying those things never end up looking like the person's plan that they paid $100 to get. And all the people in the comments that feel so ambitious about achieving that goal, they never do.
Yeah, people don't have discipline. A lot of people's excuses like, oh, well, life gets busy. It's like, well, yeah, but the people who are successful have discipline.
And they're also busy.
Like, yeah. Like, that's why, sometimes I make excuses with my CPA exam, right? But I know, I'm self-aware. I know that I have not disciplined enough, and that's why I haven't done it. But that you make time for things. If you're disciplined, you'll be able to achieve. Like, all these people that everybody aspires to look like, to be like, to have the money like, they separate themselves from everybody else because of just strictly discipline. Discipline is literally a life changer, a game changer. And most people don't have it. And I feel like I've succeeded a lot just with my discipline. I still don't feel like I'm as disciplined as I could be. And I still feel like I accomplished a lot. But even a lot of things that me and you have done, a lot of people don't be doing, We'll
never do. But yeah, you can always go harder.
Yeah, you can always go harder. And like I said, you should never be bored.
You should never be bored. Go ahead and get those things.
Yeah. So yeah.
Anything else on this one?
Nope, I just think I feel like every time we have a relationship topic, we always kind of come to the same conclusion. Just date and marry who you like. Like, don't lead. Like, I feel like I don't know. It's hard to give people advice because we're not, fortunately, we don't have to worry about dating in an adult world, right? We date as teens. And like I said, I feel like when you date as a teenager, you're not trying to gain anything from the relationship except just love and like intimacy, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't really give people advice because I never dated as an adult. But I just want everybody to generally just try to find people that you like, because that's a game changer. Like I said, like your friends, you like your friends, so you don't ever feel like you're bored with your friends. You don't feel bored every time you go out and hang out with them. So you should feel that same way with your relationships. Like, people put relationships in a whole different bracket, and I think that's so weird to me, because they should be all in the same umbrella of relationships.
People need to pursue people that they like and not pursue people based on what they can do for them,
or pursue people based off filling a bracket. Like, okay, I got to get married, so I'm just gonna marry anybody. Yeah. Just so I can have a wedding.
Because there's a lot of people that can do a lot of things for you, but if you don't like them, then it's not going to mean anything. So you, at the root of it, you always have to get somebody because you actually like them, and then what they can do for you comes after. Yeah. Like in a college example, we like each other, but there's literally nothing we can do for each other. We don't have we ain't got no motion. We don't have no finances.
No money.
We don't have any means. We didn't have nothing.
Well, you had a car, but not freshman year.
It wasn't my car.
In freshman year, you didn't have it on campus. So
we don't have nothing going for us outside of just simply being in school. But you like the person, and then everything that they can do for you after the fact comes after the fact.
Yeah, but we already built such a foundation before that, and then it just happened to be that me and you both were successful people.
Even though we have a quote unquote unique example, because it's not necessarily unique, but not everybody, goes to school.
True.
Same principles would apply to anybody. Like, find somebody that you like, and then figure out all of the other things later. Like, you're not gonna don't pick the person because they have money and they're driving this car and you foresee them taking you to this restaurant. That's what they can do for you. But anybody can do that. Like you can go get anybody. You can get any older man to go pay for these things for you. It's more important to like the person first. If you plan on having a sustainable relationship, like the person first, and then either build things together or figure out how you can work in the money part or whatever else it is that you feel like they can do for you, whether it's being your emotional support, all those other things. Like the person first, and then everything else will come at some point. And if it doesn't, then leave and get somebody else. But I feel like you won't have as much of a bad experience or a tough time finding people and staying in a sustainable relationship if you like the person first. And don't like them based on what they can do for you. Like them for them.
That's why we notice too. I think a lot of unless something happened, things happen, a lot of relationships that we see in our life were started college or before. Think about there's so many people that from Montclair that I know are engaged now, are married, right, or still dating. Obviously, we just saw your cousin who's with her her college boyfriend. Us, like I said, our friends, 8th grade. Both my line sisters who are married.
That's because
high school, middle school relationships this,
It's just that whole premise. You like the person.
Yeah, you actually like them, and that's why people always end up going back to them. When they go out and they try to date other people, and they end up always going back to that first love because that's when it was real. There was nothing to gain from you liked them. Yeah. The best type of relationships. I'm glad I found you because who knows who would have been dating us in the adult world when there's so many intentions on trying to date. Yeah. I'm just happy that, honestly, in my opinion, I'm just happy that my struggle is not Ed Bell's. I mean, their struggles aren't my struggles. It's y'all be safe. I'm not bored here, and I never will be, so you guys have fun.
Well, in tri-state area news, I guess East Coast news.
Yeah.
Obviously,
we had an earthquake.
We had an earthquake. That was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought
for anybody who's listening, we're Jersey people, so it happened in our state.
Yeah, my first reaction was sitting on the couch, and I was on my laptop working from home that day. Normally, I would be in New York, so if I was in the building and the building started rattling, I would have been gone. I wouldn't have stayed. I don't care. I would have thought the whole thing was coming down. I'm like, listen.
You would have been so scared.
I would have texted my manager like, listen, I'm home. I'm sorry, but luckily I was sitting on the couch. They're doing brand new apartment construction across the street from us, so I was like. At first, I'm sitting there. I'm like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
And then, obviously, they had a crane across the street. So I'm like, hopefully, it's not the crane that was coming down or something like that. But it wasn't that. And then my next thought was, especially because you brought it up a lot, was the Miami, the apartment in Miami. The whole building collapsed on the people. So my next thought was, this whole apartment is going down. So. Yeah, so then I ran into the room.
Yeah, I was in the room.
You were looking at me petrified.
I was laying in bed. So I had a 10:30 a.m. meeting. For anybody who knows, this earthquake happened it was 10:23. So I had an alarm set for 10:28. So literally it was 5 minutes shy of my alarm going off. I was taking a nap before my 10:30 meeting. And I was taking a nap in the morning because I had an almost all-nighter before. So I was tired. And I was asleep. And that woke me up. So that's why I looked petrified because I got woken up by it. Cause I was I wasn't in a deep sleep. So that's why I was still enough to be awake. Cause I was already awake. And then I went back to sleep, So I just woke up to the bed, swaying. And I see, you could hear the movement.
It was loud.
Yeah. And stuff was moving on we have a TV in our room. So our TV was on the dresser, swaying. And I was just like, babe. Cause he was out here. So
I ran in there. I was like, nah, let's go. Yeah. Cause my first thought is never an earthquake.
Yeah, exactly. Our last earthquake that we felt up here, was 2011. We've had earthquakes up here, that happened. Your mom was saying tonight that she felt earthquakes before I worked. Yeah. Because she works in the area where the epicenter was. But so earthquakes happen frequently. I've heard apparently they're just 1.1, so nobody feels them. But our last earthquake that we felt was 2011. That was in Virginia. So that's why it's almost 15 years later. Nobody thought it was an earthquake. Some people thought initially, but not me and you. I was like. I was putting my pants on.
Yeah, we were putting clothes on. I was getting out of here.
We was about to literally. I was like, let's just go sit in your car. We didn't know what was happening. And then you came out here, and your people was IMing you saying earthquake. So I was like, okay, if everybody felt it, then we're safe because clearly that wasn't just our building.
Yeah, I was like, all right. Then we stayed
But that was crazy. Yeah, because you were in here, so was everything moving? Like, were the lights moving?
Yeah, everything was moving. Like I was sitting right here on the couch, and I was like,
All the stuff on the counter too? Like,
no, the stuff on the counter is heavy,
yeah,
so it wasn't
stable.
moving too much.
The lights though were swaying these.
Yeah.
And what was that the Connect Four?
Yeah, the Connect Four was okay. It wasn't like anything that was kind of heavier. I think the Connect Four wasn't swaying because the table was a little bit
the TV was
heavier.
swaying, right?
Yeah, it was like a little bit like a
Yeah,
little
like
rock. Like you hear like the creaking
Yeah.
of certain stuff, and then
I wonder if it affects our building, like the stability.
Well,
are these buildings meant to sway?
after 9/11, basically any new construction, and definitely in New York, but in the area in general, and this is why places like in Texas, when it rains, their whole house disappears because they have different building codes. But us, because of 9/11 and everything that happened with there, these are structurally more sound, so they're meant to absorb not a crazy earthquake, obviously, but they're meant to absorb more motion than buildings used to be, because like in Newark you saw like the
those buildings hit each other, which is so crazy,
but those were older, pre 9/11, so those are built differently. Even these new constructions, why they always start with the stairwell first for that stability. So
that could be a worry. Obviously our building might not
the structural, but the building's definitely fine. And
that was crazy though.
My mom said they shut down the tunnels. So the Holland Tunnel.
The Holland Tunnel was closed when it happened?
And Lincoln Tunnel, they closed
apparently, like a lot of flights too. Like there was one flight apparently that was supposed to like land around the time that it happened, and you could see the flight path. It circled around like Central Jersey, and then they ended up going around New York. It was gonna land in LaGuardia, and then they ended up coming back to Newark. It was like they said it was like an hour delay. Like them just flying. Can you imagine? I'd be like, oh my god, like what is happening?
Yeah.
But I guess like they didn't. Like what reason would they do that?
Because you don't want to land a plane and then the ground starts like opening up. Like that would be insane.
Yeah. But they should have known like right away where it came from, right? The source.
Yeah, but you don't know what's gonna. You don't know what aftershock's gonna happen. Like it is dangerous. Like you trying to land a plane and the ground is moving below it. Like that's kind of wild.
I wonder if any planes were landing at the exact time.
Probably because there's planes landing like every. What's literally. The stats like every minute?
Can you imagine?
Because it's crazy. It's crazy living near the airport.
I know. We see them like clockwork.
But yeah, so. That was definitely crazy. Wild, but
like in hindsight, I don't know. It was kind of fun, but it's like it was dangerous.
No, it's pretty cool.
Kind of fun.
Like,
because like
no harm. Well, hopefully nobody got hurt. Because we did see, like I think was it Randolph, New Jersey? It was somewhere where I think the water main broke, and then it ended up the force of the water ended up breaking a highway.
Yeah.
I don't think the highway cracked in half because of the earthquake though, and then just some trees fell on houses, but nothing.
I don't think no deaths.
I don't think any deaths. Hopefully not. Yeah.
No major injuries. Yeah, I don't think any of that.
But the big thing that came from this is all of the insane conspiracy theories. Now, here's one thing to note: there are some things that I do believe in, and the other part about that though is that I am open to everything. So. I will never say hard pressed that this is true, this is not true. I'll never be that person, because I think when you close yourself off to the potential for things to happen, then we wouldn't even be anywhere in the place that we are today. Like if you told somebody that a computer would exist, like at some point in history, they would have laughed at you, right?
Closed-mindedness.
Yeah, closed-mindedness is horrible.
Is the worst for growth.
Terrible. You would never grow if you're closed-minded. So I'm gonna put that first and foremost. But within that, I still do have my personal beliefs for whatever reason. But with the earthquake happening,
4.8 magnitude,
because people aren't accustomed to that type of activity in this area, especially in New Jersey. The solar eclipse,
April 8th, 4.8 magnitude.
The magnitude matched the date.
April 8th.
And lightning hit the Statue of Liberty. Was it the same day or was it the day before?
Whatever the day it rained. So that was like Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so
it was like the day before.
People were saying it's a lot of different government activity, and it very well could be. But in the same way that I don't like to be definitive in my stances on things, other people I feel like shouldn't be so definitive on their stances on things, especially if nobody has any proof or evidence of any of this stuff. You can say what you believe, of course, but don't be so hard pressed to say that this is a fact. The government did this,
and don't try to spread it for everybody else to have to listen to what you're saying and believe what you're saying.
Yeah, because the blind lead the blind. I won't bring the religious part of it in because I have respect for people's religions, But there was definitely a lot of religious activity related to this.
The end of times, the world's ending, he's coming.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, for me, like, I don't want to, like I said, bash the religious thing, but I feel like for me, like, the reason why that kind of always throws me off is, first of all, if you were really religious, they would say that no man knows the time. Like, that's like in the Bible. Mm-hmm. No man could tell when what is it called? The resurrection, when he comes back. Like, nobody would be able to say that. So people trying to act like they know he's coming goes against their own belief. So that, like, confuses me. But also, I just feel like if you just do simple, like, I just don't like hysteria. If you just do very simple research, earthquakes in New Jersey, they're rare, but they're not uncommon, if that makes sense. Like they've happened. Like we just said, like your mom felt one. Like, they're just, bigger ones are rare. I should say the bigger ones are rare, but earthquakes happen. Like the Ramapo fault line, I learned the day of the earthquake what that was. I personally didn't know that, but not, like, the more you know. Now I know there's a fault line in New Jersey. So having earthquakes here are not that abnormal. We have a whole fault line. So let's, like, use our brains. Like, let's not be so use hysteria. Tall buildings that are in New York, lightning usually touches the tallest thing. Lightning strikes the Empire State Building, the World Trade Center, the Statue of Liberty all the time. Almost every time it's lightning here, I can literally see. Pretty much every time, because our view is. I can literally see the strike hit behind this building where the World Trade Center is. Yeah. Like, almost every time there's a lightning storm. Like, these are not abnormal things that are happening. These things are happening a lot. Is it a coincidence that all these things happening around the time? Yeah, but that's what math is. There's probably, this thing called probability. The probability that all these things will happen around the same time, it's not likely, but it's not impossible. Mm-hmm. So I just don't like hysteria. Like, there's a fault line in New Jersey. Like, it's just, you gotta do your research.
Yeah, it's the fear mongering.
It's not crazy. If there's a fault line existing, then earthquakes are bound to happen near a fault line. Like, this is basic geography. Learn. Please, open a book. Read. Like, stop spreading. Like, the fear monger. Stop trying to be like all hysterical. Like, somebody's like, watch. Monday the 8th, that's tomorrow, right? 8th, yep. When the eclipse happens, prepare. And people in the comments like, see you on Tuesday. See you on Tuesday. Like, eclipse happened in 2017. Why act like this is the first eclipse?
Well, because they all said the same stuff during that time. God, but what is it about
it's just a solar system. It's called science.
What is it about the sun being blocked out? I'm not even trying to be funny.
I'm being funny. They literally are crazy.
No, I'm trying to understand.
They're literally going through psychosis. Like, we're witnessing mass psychosis. We really got to figure that out.
What is because I'm trying to understand. I still will, once I understand people's perspectives, I still might call you psycho, but I at least want to understand your people's perspectives.
Yeah, what is it about the sun being blocked temporarily?
Do you know what people were saying?
I haven't seen, actually, because I just don't like even getting into it, because I just know it's craziness.
With the shadow.
I guess it scares them that our planets orbit in the system, and that the moon orbits and then the sun orbits. I guess it scares them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't get it, but maybe I'll do some more research on why people are afraid of it.
I think just happened in 2017. Do people not remember that August 2017 or what was it? July.
No, but people continue to say the same things every single time something happens, right? Every time something happens, right? Because it was 2012. It was people were saying, remember 2020, God's playing not playing fair or something when everybody was dying and COVID and Pop Smoke and Kobe Bryant. Every time there's something, then people always say this year is doing whatever. Yeah. Like, this year is
apparently right now is New York is being punished. Like, for what? What are we being punished for? Because we had a minor earthquake that killed nobody.
That happened in New Jersey.
And because the sun's about to be blocked for a few seconds before that shit moves down to Texas. Like, what? I
don't know, man.
And because we had the lightning strikes to Empire State or the Statue of Liberty, which happens almost every time a lightning's here. Okay. I guess we're being punished.
That is why all of the skyscrapers in New York, pretty much all of them, have a spire.
They're literally meant to take that impact.
Because it's going to hit them. They know it's that common. That's why they build them.
It's called science.
But anyway.
I can't. Like, it scares me, actually. Because, like I said, for me, it almost feels like we're witnessing mass psychosis. Like, it's like you're seeing in real time people are literally, like, insane. And I mean, I can't blame them because people are so indoctrinated with their beliefs. But sometimes it's like, it's too much. Like, I don't, like I said, like I'm not anti-religion. Like, that's crazy. I have my beliefs that I don't feel like publicizing, but it's like I'm anti, like, when it gets too cultish for me. Like, when it gets too much, like, drinking Kool-Aid type people, I get away. Like, those people who are too churchy, the world's ending, prepare, like that. I can't. when that stuff happens, I have to take steps back. I just get like, you're stressing me out. It's too much for me. So, because we talked about it before, like, and those type of people have been the people that have been linked to the most deaths have happened in this world. Literally.
Take a step back.
No, I'm saying like religion has killed a lot of people.
But you're talking about one specific one. That's what I'm saying. Just
I just mean like religion has been linked to so much deaths. Because some people who are too
I got you.
passionate. Yeah, I don't mean like that. I'm saying people who are too passionate with their beliefs usually are the ones that end up killing people. Like somebody just killed some guy. I don't know if you heard. He killed his wife who was like 6 months, 7 months pregnant because he was Muslim and she was like white, and his family wasn't going to accept her, so he strangles her because of his Muslim belief. Like that's crazy. Like your belief like took you over that much that you killed a pregnant woman who you were supposed to be in love with. Like when religion drives people to do stuff like that, that's when I get like scared and I gotta move away.
Anyway,
didn't mean to get into a little rant there, but I'm just saying like.
Anything else on the earthquake?
Huh?
Is there anything else on the earthquake?
I guess. Well, we said we were talking about the conspiracy theorists. I guess it's the same thing, right? Yeah. No. But yeah, like what I just want people to do is just read, open a book, learn. Learning is knowledge is power. Your grandma was just saying that knowledge is power. It is because it's like I said, I didn't know about the Ramapo fault, so now it's cool because now like I learned a lot about it, like because of this, and it's like it's cool to. They say it was like the basin. It's like separates the mountain range or something. It's like there's like a basin in New Jersey, so it's cool now like to learn these things. Like instead of being so scared, like what are people scared of? Like is nature. Like let's just learn our earth. The more you know. So let's stop acting like everything is some conspiracy, something bigger. It's just our earth. Like the earth is naturally in a cycle. Like another thing I learned is that apparently the Atlantic Ocean is widening by an inch every year. So it's like our planet's just constantly moving and it's gonna go through cycles. Like not everything is that serious. That's just life. Like life is meant there's a birth and a death and everything. And I just feel like our planet is constantly moving. Like cells and stuff are constantly moving at every moment. Like the cells moving all around us right now. Like there's constant movement. So things like earthquakes are bound to happen where there are fault lines. That's it. Lightning is gonna strike the tallest things in the area. That's it. Like sometimes the solar system is all moving at the same time. So sometimes the sun and the moon are going to pass each other. That's it. Like nothing is not like the conspiracy theorists need to sit down, breathe, maybe go to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and get off the internet. But my question is, what is their end goal with the fear mongering and the spreading of their theories? What do you think it is? Like just to get clicks? What do you think? What's their goal?
I think they're just speaking their beliefs.
But do you feel like they're trying to get a goal? Like, do you feel like they're trying to gather followers, believers with them? Like, what do you think? Like,
no, I think people
just talk out loud.
I think people have their beliefs, and they believe that they're seeing their beliefs come to life. So, if you take the Bible, for example, there is a passage in the Bible that does speak to this exact scenario that happened.
That's true.
Where the sun got blocked out, the ground shook tremendously. That's true. And I think there's another part to that passage, but I don't recall. So it is a specific piece in the Bible that would attribute it to the sun being blocked out, which would be the eclipse. And the earthquake, the ground shaking.
Yeah.
So I think people in their beliefs see these things coming to life. Mm-hmm. So fear mongering is probably not the right word to use for it, but I think that's the reason. So it's like they believe something so heavily, and then now they want to they're like taken aback by it. So they're embracing their belief basically on the internet, and other people that follow it, they agree with it. Then it becomes the community of it. So fear mongering probably isn't the right word that I use there, but it's
networking.
Yeah, it's just a shared belief in something. Yeah,
and like I said, like I'm not going against people's beliefs. Like people have their beliefs. I'm not trying to disrespect their beliefs. I just feel like what I don't like is when they think that it has to end all be all. Like this is fact. This is concrete fact. When it's not. And I feel like let everybody believe what they believe in. Like I'm like you have your beliefs, but also like just I just want everybody to be open, like you said, to just. Don't be so set on your beliefs. Like be open to everybody's perspective, and like maybe be open to some things that kind of challenge your belief. I feel like I said, that's the best thing for growth in life and in an individual, like to challenge what you believe in, and don't always just, especially if like your parents taught you, like just be open to like other things. That's all. But I do get that connection. Like the Bible does talk about those things. Like for me, sometimes I get like worried with the Bible stuff because I know it's a man-made document, So it's like it's kind of hard to for me to fully 100% believe everything that's in the Bible, because I just feel like it's written by as a man-made document, So it's kind of is iffy, but it's interesting because I also sometimes think too some of the stuff that's in the Bible could have just been people like their observations of things that happen to planets, and maybe they saw an eclipse and like it for them they felt like it was something, so like they felt like that's like a sign of the times, But I don't know. That's the lovely thing about life, is that none of us know at the end of the day, right? Nobody 100% fully knows the truth, and who knows if we ever will. Maybe in death we will, but I don't know. But my conclusion is literally just I just don't like when people almost like bash you too, like for like if you challenge them. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hopefully we have no more earthquakes. Well, we'll probably have another earthquake in our lifetime in Jersey for sure, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of when. When do you think? Do you think they're gonna be more frequent now?
No.
Yeah, it's just gonna be. Well, last time this one went off in particular, the Ramapo one was when the 80s, the one that your aunt was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of wild. It's been a minute. So maybe another 40 years.
Nobody knows me out there, but for anybody that does, I guess there might be one person that listens to this that knows me in real life. I am a big supporter of Party Next Door. I will never say I'm a fan of anybody. If I ever said I'm a fan of anybody, it was definitely a mistake. But I'm a big supporter of his music. You don't like the word fan? I hate the word fan because I'm not a fanatic about anybody. I think that word is crazy.
Fanatic is
supporter is definitely the word to use. But big avid supporter of Party Next Door. My whole life, really, honestly.
Your whole life?
My whole life.
He's not much older than us.
Nah, but like
since 2013.
His unreleased music, obviously Party Next Door 1 and 2.
Classics.
Crazy.
The thing is, like, when people say like you wasn't there, like I'm so glad we were there. Yeah. Like literally. Like,
but I was there for a lot.
No, like day one, not day one, but like
no, day one. Yeah. No, day one, literally day one, and even the unreleased stuff before Party Next Door 1 and Party Next Door 2, that I still listen to, but.
And for me, Party Next Door like has a big like impact because you obviously were a huge fan, so you played a lot of his music. Like
I was a huge what?
A supporter.
Thank you.
So you played a lot of his music early in our relationship. It's still to this day, but it's like a lot of his songs. When I hear them, I instantly just think of us because it was like something that like it's like the soundtrack of our relationship.
What do you think about specifically?
Just like us.
In what sense?
Like us bonding and like getting to know each other and like falling in love. Yeah, you played the music a lot. Yeah.
But he announced Party Next Door 4, which is supposed to come out soon. Unfortunately, I don't have the date in front of me, but
I hope it's good. I pray it's good.
Yeah, it's usually always good music.
I didn't like P3 though.
Really?
Wasn't a big fan of that album. Not gonna lie. There's a few I like, but not really a lot.
Well, this one hopefully is good. I think.
But you liked it?
I think he took a lot of time with this one. I like it all of it, and I think that when Party Next Door 4 comes out, if I could get the
look, it's already on the thing too, Apple Music. But I can't believe this is really the album cover.
Which is what I wanted to get into. Yeah. Does it give the date though? It keeps saying pre-orders.
This says upcoming. Oh, April 26th.
April 26th. So.
Ooh, that's so close. That's so close.
Can't wait for that to come out.
Dang, too bad it doesn't come out before the trip.
But one of the number one thing is, like you just said, the album cover is nuts.
Yeah. Because compared to his other album covers too, like look, it's just him.
It's all him, but Party Next Door 4 for some reason. We have a young lady bent over with a back tat and
number 4.
The number 4 tatted on her back for Party Next Door 4. Now,
I wonder if that's a real tattoo or if she just did it for the album cover.
I'm pretty sure she just did it for the album cover.
Like a temporary tattoo? Probably. Yeah.
Now, there's been a few women that came out and claimed to be the person. I do know that there's somebody named Mommy Next Door that's supposed to be his muse for the album.
I think I saw that person on TikTok who actually is.
But she's African woman. Is she?
I think
because I feel like I've seen multiple people claim that as them. But either way, yeah, the album cover is nuts. I definitely, when I'm listening to it, I'm gonna have to skip over that. Well, luckily I have a privacy screen, so if I'm listening to it, people are not gonna see it.
Yeah, but that's the biggest problem because like if you're listening to it and that just pops up on your phone, like that's crazy. Or if you're in your car and it's like on an Apple CarPlay, like.
Yeah. So I low key feel
alternative cover.
Yeah, because I low key feel the way about it. Like even Kanye with Vultures One album cover, it's like because it's for the people. I don't care about people's like opinions, to be completely honest, but at the same time, I do understand people's opinions. So if I'm playing Party Next Door 4, somebody that has no idea what I'm looking at here, they're gonna think I'm on the subway watching porn.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be insane, especially because this is a melanated woman.
Yeah,
and I'm obviously a melanated man, so
this gonna be like, is that your girlfriend that just sent you that? Like, what is happening?
Like I'm looking like at black porn on the subway. Like that's definitely not the case. So, but I'm looking forward to it. Album cover is insane.
Yeah, like I said, this is the girl I think, because she posted this.
So she
posted this on the 20th too. Yeah. So it kind of proves that low key her because she showed the braids.
Yeah.
And she said, that does 4 braids for my shoot. So and those look like the same braids, right?
Okay, so Mommy Next Door is the person I was talking about. So I did have it right.
And those look like the same braids. Yeah. Same 4 braids. Yeah. And this was on the 20th. So this was before the album cover even came out. Yeah. And she posted this and said for my shoot. So and it said Party 4 on the way. So that has to be her.
Yeah. So that's definitely her.
This was like weeks ago that she posted this, almost a month ago. So.
Well, shout out to her. Congrats, I guess.
I don't know. Each their own, but that's kind of crazy. Like you're embedded in history now of your body art, somebody's cover.
Yeah.
But I mean, people think bodies are art. I think bodies are art.
You know, one thing actually low key that people don't talk about because I'm a music historian. On the highest of keys, they used to put nude women on vinyl album covers for like decades. Like that's been a thing since like records has become a thing. They used to always put, especially like alternative bands or rock bands, they used to put fully naked women on the actual covers themselves. So this is not a new concept, but because I'm going to actually be listening to this, I don't want it to be popping up.
Yeah, like I'm like I'm gonna be annoyed. Like I'm like, oh my god.
Like I have a privacy screen, but anytime I'm gonna have to tuck the phone like this.
That's the only thing. Like I get the artistry behind it. Like I get it. Like it's not like
I like the picture. It's cool.
It's just like I don't want that necessarily popping up when I'm listening to music. That's all. Like if it was alternative covers, that would be fine. But the fact that this is the main cover, it's like
I don't know how he got this off. That's my thing. Me neither.
Because I'm like for me, I would feel like this. How does this get approved? Like you could see basically the top of the crack.
But I think it's because you can't see it that you're allowed to, because that would be like,
I guess.
You know, because you're not seeing anything.
But it's implied.
It's implied.
She doesn't have a bra on. She doesn't. Like it's the crack. It's just basically like soft porn. Well, is that the right term? Soft porn. It's just nudity.
Yeah.
I'm just making up stuff.
Like I get it, but the fact that they approved it, and I don't actually know if every place approved it though. That's the thing. Apple might have done it, but other streaming sites might not have.
Yeah, other countries might not approve it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think is that a thing?
That's definitely a thing.
Like more like Muslim countries, they might not want that. Like,
so it might impact his
sales,
his streams.
But he might not care about that anyway. He's not like a weekend. He's not that mainstream like that. Like he's definitely still but like.
He with this one he will be, because we see TikTok people now they're aware of who he is. Like people trying to teach you about Party Next Door.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, that Her Way challenge wanted to make me fucking barf. Because we've been listening to that song for over 10 years now. So like I was like,
I'm not one of those people that all these people are on the song now. I had it first.
No, I'm not saying like that. It's just like it's almost like you said, the people trying to teach you about it. Like, oh, like this party. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was there.
On the
release date, actually. Yeah, actually before the release date.
It was 2014. Yeah, I know. So that's the thing. I just don't like Ebba act like he's some new artist now. Like, that's what I don't like.
He's getting treated like that, but But yeah, because he's now to the masses, people finding out that he was the person that wrote Work and stuff like that. Like he's good. This is gonna be his biggest, definitely.
Well, for sure.
Like, not even close. And definitely. People going back and finding all of the old songs, even the old Drake songs that he was on that people probably ignored because they're like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
But now they have a better
like
a better understanding of it.
And the thing is too, like you think about an album like Party Next Door 3, right? That album still came out so close to when those first two came out. So those first two really have marinated now and really have aged, and people really like, a lot of people our age still love those songs, still listen to those songs. So it's like all of us who are around, this is our the most recent album we got since Party Next Door 3. And like when 3 came out, the hype was there, but it wasn't probably as big as it is now, because like I said, those earlier songs didn't get a chance to really marinate. But now that they've marinated, you have all these new kids that are going to be listening to it, and you're going to have us who's been there, who have nostalgia with this guy, who's going to like really look forward to it. So it's definitely going to be probably his biggest album.
Yeah, hopefully it's good, because this is, now you're going to have
all these eyes live up to
it.
The hype. Yeah.
So hopefully
like
it
I
delivers.
Said, I hope it's good. Cause Party Next Door, the 3, like I said, I don't know.
I like Party Mobile a lot. I listen to that a lot.
Yeah, Party Mobile was good. But yeah, like look, which one did you really listen to from 3? I can't even tell you how like any of these songs except Come and See Me. And I have no idea. Do you?
You got me there.
Yeah, I told you, right?
But honestly,
the crazy part is this dropped in 2016, so we were there too when it happened. But you never played any of this stuff.
Yeah, maybe I need to go back and revisit it. But I think I just don't know the names of the songs like that.
Yeah.
But I think possibly what happened is that in 2016, because it wasn't what I immediately, because I was still listening to 1 and 2 every single. I still continue to listen to 1 and 2 every day. Like, no gas. Like,
and it's just so crazy to me that 2013 we're over the 10-year mark for this album.
So maybe I just didn't appreciate it. So maybe I'll need to spin back and listen to it. But it probably was because I felt like it didn't sound like the originals, but I was still so much on like 1 and 2 that I probably didn't want to hear anything else.
Yeah. 3, from what I remember, seemed kind of more of like he was maybe experimenting. That was his experimental album, but we'll see what 4 sounds like. I'm like really interested, right? Because all this was so close. 13, 14, 16. Like this was like a 3-year range. So the fact that it's been that long and now we're going to get 4 finally. I mean, we did get other stuff.
Yeah, we got Colors. You got Colors too.
Yeah, the Party Pack. The Party Pack was just
was all
old
this
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like mixtape stuff, right?
And
then Party Mobile.
Well, you got the chopped and screwed version.
This is not mine. This is just everything on music.
Oh. Yeah, Colors is 1. Tremendous.
Yeah, like we're from Oakland, and like just no. The crazy part is these songs are old though. But why was it released on like Colors? Like that's his mixtape stuff that he's dropping. He
put them out just random. This was still people putting random songs out on SoundCloud, but to be able to like profit really, put them on streaming.
So, these are so like it's just crazy. It's like his music is just
But yeah, hopefully
it brings me chills.
You let Party Next Door give you chills.
No, because like his music is so nostalgic.
The thought of Party Next Door gave you chills just now.
No,
look at me with a straight face. Couldn't even keep a straight face.
Because you're being so unserious. It's nostalgia.
Keep a straight face.
The nostalgia.
So just the thought of him.
No, the music. It just makes me sad because it was around just for
so
those.
Now you crying over him.
Because it was around for those times, those early days, those honeymoon stages where everything's fluttery and the butterflies.
The hand emotion was nuts.
That was after that. The butterflies in your stomach and you're just like excited and like falling in love and all these music. It's just like makes me sad.
All right.
Anyways, so
in major news,
rap beefs. We love the beefs.
Hey yo.
You don't like beef?
Hey yo.
We don't eat beef.
We don't eat beef.
I haven't eaten beef my whole life.
Anyway.
Well, I've had it before, but I have never ate.
This is a super Ayo, but some people that are hungry for some beef. Is J. Cole, Kendrick, Future, Metro, Drake, and whoever else.
And the girls are trying to fight too now.
We're not bringing them up.
No, but just briefly, I think they're trying to do something because they see the men fighting.
We're skipping over them. They're not important.
They're not important. But JT and Gorilla is just. I think they're trying to feed up the hype, but it's whack to me.
J. Cole dropped an album. What's it called? Might Delete Later.
Yeah. So corny. First of all, let's start there. That's corny.
Might Delete Later reminds me of Drake's Honestly Nevermind title.
Yeah.
And If You're Reading This, it's too late title.
It's just like I think they're trying to be corny on purpose, but I don't know because they might just be corny.
Yeah. So for those of you that are watching this, she has a pure hatred of Drake and anybody that has lighter skin or is mixed. So
I do
before
not.
no, let me finish. I'm speaking. Let me finish speaking.
I don't.
So she has a hatred for anybody with lighter skin, and Drake and J. Cole fit that description, and people that are mixed. So any opinions that she's giving or stating is purely hers.
I don't have a hatred towards them.
And so I just want to put that disclaimer out
I'm not
there.
racist or colorist. I don't have a hatred towards light skinned and biracials.
So with that being said, J. Cole dropped his album. And aside from any of the other songs, because I didn't take the time to listen to them yet.
We didn't listen to that one.
We did listen to the diss track towards Kendrick, and I do have some harsh criticism, and I am more of a supporter of Kendrick, so I will put my bias up front for y'all.
Same.
But within my bias of who I like, I also am extremely fair in my opinions. So this was a response to Kendrick's Like That verse where he kind of low-key dissed, I guess. well, high-key dissed. Because it wasn't even really a diss, kind of, but I get it.
It is, though. Because you're basically dissing the fact that the big three argument. Like, no, don't put me in that.
Okay, whatever. It was a diss. But it wasn't like attacking in a way.
No.
Not in the way that we think a diss is. It's just light jabs, basically. Because we talked about it last week. It's just light jabs.
And he wasn't really like saying anything like you're whack, you're this, you're that. I mean, he said that your best work is light pack. That could be kind of a jab.
Oh yeah, that's actually crazy. All right, so he did this for sure, 100%. And this was J. Cole's response. So to me, while I pull up the lyrics, so to me, I feel like this was kind of a weak attempt, low key, because I feel like this is one of those things where you would have used the type of bars that he used if you were throwing the jabs first. So Kendrick is being very specific in his jabs, and he's calling both of them out, right? So to me, the response from J. Cole, even though to me most of this was directed at Drake, to me you got to come just a little bit harder. And I know I saw some people were saying that Kendrick fans are making it seem like they can't admit when somebody has a good diss against Kendrick.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. Like if there's something that was hard, then I'm the first person. Like I like good music. So even though I like Kendrick more, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna not pay attention to somebody actually really dissing somebody, even though I might like Kendrick's more.
Exactly.
Now I did read the lyrics before I actually listened to the song, and I am happy to say that the song is way better than just reading the lyrics. Unfortunately, the lyrics are still a part of the song. And here's the reason why I feel like this was a bad diss. Now, first and foremost, J. Cole's always kind of had some of the, like, he's a lyrical rapper in like the context of what we think to be lyrical.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a conscious rapper, but he's lyrical. I think there is a difference. But some of the bars, he said he's still doing shows, but fell off like The Simpsons. Tomatoes. Not good. Your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Good Kid, Mad City is the best rap album of all time, to me.
Yeah, but he says classic. So
he says classic, so we good there. Your last shit was tragic. I could understand that perspective. Tragic, I don't know, but I could understand maybe from a commercial standpoint that people didn't gravitate towards it as much as his previous stuff. So,
but still good.
Okay.
Still some hits on there. We played it. Well, not hits, but artistic sounded good. So,
right. Yeah. Yo, second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it. Now, here's where we're gonna throw a timeout. For the whole concept of him breaking down Kendrick's discography, it's such a fallacy because you can't put somebody in the top 3 and then try to disregard everything that they ever did then. So you're saying that he had 2 out of 4 good albums, but you're putting those 2 albums you're saying are good enough to put him in the top 3. So it's kind of like weird to give somebody props, and because they didn't want to accept your props, now you're going to go back and say that all their shit is trash because you're upset.
Issue. That's literally like one of my biggest issues with this, because like from personal experience, I hate when a person is like a fan of you almost, and then when you're not friends anymore, if you're like you're on the outs, all of a sudden everything that they said about you is out the window. So it's like, damn. So you bent on my shit was a sleeper, and we was friends. You was bigging me up. We was cool. We was talking. We was hanging. But this how you been feeling this whole time? So this how you really feel, or are you just sensitive? Or are you just upset?
Yeah, it's weirdo shit.
I don't
Either
like
way,
that. Like, cause if I fall over somebody, you're not all of a sudden ugly. You're not all of a sudden whack. You're not all of a sudden this. If I didn't feel that way about you, if I genuinely didn't feel that way about you, you're not. But if I did feel that way about you, and now I expose that, you still look crazy either way.
Yeah.
Either you look fake, or you're sensitive.
Yeah, so this
and a liar.
This doesn't make sense. How you put somebody in your top 3 and then say all this shit is trash the next month? now all this shit is trash.
Now you're breaking out his discography, and now it's
that was confusing to me. So that's trash because you was on D.
Yeah.
In first person shooter.
The biggest fan.
But now all of it's trash and they gassed it. Your third shit was massive and now it was your prime. I was trailing right behind and now I just hit mine. Blah, 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 blah. How ironic now that I got it. He wants something with me. Well, he caught it at the perfect time. Jump and see. Boy, I got here off bars. Not no controversy.
No.
I don't think Kendrick got to where he's at based on controversy either.
And my whole thing is, so going back to
he won't even be outside.
Yeah, but going back to the other bar too, like, oh, now that I got it, he got something with me. No, nigga, you brought me up in the Big 3 conversation, and I don't think you were part of the Big 3. That's all. Like, he don't got something with you all of a sudden. You brought yourself into the Big 3. You got, now that you got it, now you bigged yourself up and try to add yourself into that conversation. He didn't say nothing about you. You brought him up into that Big 3 thing, and he's like, nigga, don't put me in that category with you.
Yeah,
I don't got an issue with you, but you brought me up, like.
Yeah. So the bars themselves.
I like J. Cole, but it's just sensitive shit.
Yeah, and I do like J. Cole. I just don't. That like is weird. Like the verse was weird to me.
It was very weird
because it was kind of all backwards. Like,
it's like he went into with a discography breakdown. I was like, damn, nigga, you been feeling this way about me?
Yeah, that's the other part. Weirdos being in your face.
Yeah,
that's the type of people you got to watch out for, and not even just to preach violence, but that's like one of those situations where. You got them snake people, and you never know where somebody might snake you. And
I have personal experience.
I don't know, man.
I have personal experience.
And there was some other stuff where he was dissing Kendrick, but I'm not going to get onto those songs.
And no, and he apparently was still going on this song too.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't gonna.
Like he kept going after that about like the whole.
Yeah, we talked through all that.
How ironic. As soon as okay, now you said that. Well, he called me at the perfect time. Jump up and see.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Oh yeah, he said that. Yeah. Funny thing about it, B, I don't even want the prestige after Grammys because them crackers ain't done nothing for me.
Yeah, let's stop at the crackers ain't did nothing for me. So.
They birthed you. Oh.
So yeah, one of the things, even though you have a disdain towards light skinned people, one of the things I do agree with.
He's not light skinned, by the way. He's biracial. Biracial people.
Well, yeah, sorry. Let's not conflate the two. Biracial person.
Yes.
That is also light skinned.
No. He's just biracial, so his skin's already light, but he's mixed with white and black.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Well, no, but literally, the term light skin, dark skin refers to black people.
I got you. Yeah,
just nuance, but
people that are biracial, I get the leaning into the cool rap part because you are partially black.
Yeah.
But if you have a parent that also is white, it's super weirdo shit to me. To like really go hard for the black side and then try to have any sort of disdain for the white side, especially when the white side is the one that raised you and not the black side.
Literally.
So them crackers, they never did nothing for me except
give you a roof, fed you, gave birth to you, got you, gave you education. Put clothes in your bag.
Bro came out a white vagina and said that crackers ain't never did nothing for me. And I'm not calling white people crackers, but in the context of what he's saying, that's what he's saying.
And people are like, oh, he's talking about the Grammys. But he went to the Grammys, and there's a picture of him and his mom at the Grammys.
And that's your mom. Stop disrespecting your mom.
And not only that's your mom, you're 50%.
Yeah, you're still
your DNA.
It's still your DNA. Like
you can't get rid of that.
It's so crazy to me that people be like half black, half white, but only want to claim being black.
Oh, and then people like to say that too. Oh, that's a black man. That's a black man. Like people, non biracial people feed into it with that whole one drop rule. No, that's not a black man. He's biracial, and that's okay. You're both, and that's fine. Like, why are you so ashamed to be both? Like,
yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. You're biracial. You're not black. You're not white. You're both.
Embrace it.
Embrace it.
I love it. Cherish it.
Yeah.
And don't talk to your mom that way.
Like I can't imagine saying something like that, and then you gotta look in your white mother's face. Like that's like do you not
that's
feel
weird.
corny?
That's kind of weird.
Do
you
not feel corny?
It's weird.
They wouldn't be cool so bad, like leaning into the full blackness thing. Like it's okay. You're not. That's what makes you unique. You're specific DNA. You're a specific mix. Like you're not the same as me. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
We still share that commonality of having blackness in us. You still look like a black presenting person, like you have black features, but you still have a white mom and you still have white DNA. Like, just accept it. It's okay.
And nobody say that everybody does, because that you understand what we're saying here.
Yeah.
Like, we're not.
Cause they try to say that about African Americans. Oh, don't you guys have 20% white in you?
I definitely don't.
Like, I still have 2 black parents. I still have 4 black grandparents. I still have 8 black great grandparents. So like, what are we talking about here?
8 black Greek grandparents?
Great. Don't you have 8? Doesn't the math go 2, 4, 8? Great grandparents. Wait, great grandparents. 8.
You wouldn't just have 2 great grandparents? Oh,
you have 8.
It would just wouldn't always just be.
You have 8. Your grandma's parents, your grandpa's parents. That's 4. Your grandma, your mom, dad's side's parents, your grandpa's parents. That's 4. That's 8 altogether. Like, your grandma has parents. Your grandma that we saw tonight has parents. Your grandpa, her husband, had parents. That's 4. That's your mom's side. Your dad's side is 4. Also, that's 8.
It would also always be.
You have 8 great grandparents. Like, you have 2 black parents. You have 4 black great. You have 2 black parents, 4 black. No, I'm just saying again. 2 black parents, 4 black grandparents, 8 black great grandparents. So I'm just saying, emphasizing for people who are listening. There's no the way people don't get into my pool until way back. Like, yeah, they mixed in, but like you said, they know what we're saying. There's a difference between having your ethnic group having white made up in them versus actually having a white parent. It's a difference.
Yeah, but in terms of the diss, I think the beat was cool. I think the song sounded good, but in terms of the content itself, I would have expected something different. And there's a lot of like weird kind of lyrics in it, so it kind of.
This too, right?
It was just.
It was kind of a weird lyric.
The rap beef ain't realer than the shit I seen in Cumberland.
Yeah, remember you were talking about that too, how he's like act like he's seeing something.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like
leading into that blackness and that hood, coming from the hood, from the Ville. I'm from the Ville.
Yeah, but you can still have that experience and still be biracial. I don't conflate that, but. With Drake and J. Cole, it's kind of a little difficult to get those kind of bars off to somebody that lived in Compton, California. Like, so it doesn't, like, it's not quite translating.
Yeah, like, what are we saying here?
You're not talking to like a pop star from like the suburbs. Mm-hmm. So the experiences that they're trying to get off as a thing you're talking to the wrong person.
Yeah, and both Drake and J. Cole, to mention them both, especially because they both seem like they're bonding over, right? Maybe this shared white motherhoodness, being raised by that white mother. But they both were also raised in like they love to try to say that like Drake started from the bottom, but they still were raised in like semi-nice areas. Like we saw J. Cole's house. Like it wasn't like he lived in a shack, So to try to like you're talking to somebody who's from Compton. Like let's reel it in real quick and realize who the target is. Like. They want to have this whole I got her out of the mud, started from the bottom storyline so bad, and it's not sticking.
Yeah, it could
stop.
It could for somebody that lives in the suburbs, because that's like a lot of people. That's a lot of their audience, because that's the only people that can even afford to go to their shows.
Yeah.
But the person they're speaking to, it's not going to ever hit properly, because look where he's from, and also from just a rap perspective.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in terms of rap technicality and rappers ever, I think Kendrick is the best black rapper ever. I would put Eminem as the best white rapper ever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually rapping, in my opinion, I don't think that there's anybody better at rap itself historically than those two. Yeah. So even from a rap perspective, I don't even think they could really hold a candle to Kendrick. And everybody brings up the success of Drake, right? And everybody always talks about sales, right? But sales don't matter to me, especially because they're playing 2 different games. This is the same thing Kendrick said about Drake years ago. They're playing 2 different games. So if one person is making Hotline Bling and Controller, dirty wine and music, and the other person is talking about the black plight in America, no shit, people are gonna be Drake is going to be able to sell more. It's kind of like a no shit. They're playing 2 different games. So I don't really hear success because they're playing 2 different sports. But if they want to come through and play rap together, nobody's going to touch Kendrick. Like it's like Kendrick's not giving you a Simpson bar in a diss track.
That's what I hate, the whole like them trying to brag on the commercial success, because that's not what Kendrick's even aiming for. So it's like you're like, who's the target audience here? Like you're like, who are you talking to? Like I don't care about that stuff. So it's like you're bragging about stuff I don't care about. You know what I mean? Like
But that's why
he's actually there for the art and the real, like, what rap, the core of what rap was, what it was.
Which is why Pusha T was able to do what he did against him, because when it comes to rap itself, there's nothing that you can do about rap itself. And people can argue and say that Drake did more that diss did more for Push's career, because Maul said that. And while that
was a Drake guzzler, so I don't like his opinions.
So that may be true, but look at your GOAT. And not that because Drake, I probably have, in terms of music, I think Drake might be the person I have most music, or third most. Or
and we're always gonna acknowledge he makes good music.
He makes fantastic music, and he's really good at what he does.
But like when we're talking about real, like the real poetic, that's why the nigga Kendrick got a freaking Pulitzer Prize, right? Like, we're talking about poetry, we're talking about real art.
Yeah, somebody actually talking about things that matter. Yeah, right. Like, that's
not talking about how much money they got, not talking about the Maybachs and the trips to Turks, like
having sex with 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I am a big supporter of Drake's music as well. But one thing about me, and where I'm not biased necessarily, even though I might favor somebody, I'm not necessarily biased, because I can call out and critique anybody, right? And even the people I like the most, and Drake is one of the artists that I like the most. He's definitely in my top 5 listened to artists.
Especially his older stuff, where I feel like it was actually more better.
But if we're going to break rap down, and we're going to talk about rap specifically, he can't. And Kendrick has put both of them in an unfortunate scenario, because they were on tour, and
Drake's tour is over now, right?
Right.
It ended in Jersey.
And J. Cole shouted out Kendrick, not expecting and Kendrick don't pop up but every so often. Mm-hmm. So for him to pop up and respond, that definitely caught everybody off guard. Mm-hmm. But nothing that they can do is ever gonna be enough. Mm-hmm. Especially if Kendrick gets in a mode where he wants to reply, because that's the other thing. We also haven't seen Kendrick battle, but I feel like if he really wants to do this, it's gonna get bad. The thing.
We have no idea where Kendrick's mindset is, because one of the last things we heard from him was like that Baby Keem song, and Baby Keem said number 2's DMing my B. So that almost seemed like, all right, maybe we preparing. Like, maybe back then I was like, I'm ready. Like, I'm about to go hide in a little bit, but I'm coming back out, and like it's go time. So we don't know what's happening.
I don't want to say I'm nervous, but like it's kind of like, if I was those two, I would be scared, right?
I know. And everybody unfollowing Drake, so we don't know what Kendrick might have on him. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes, what's cooking up. But I just want this to keep going. I like this stuff.
Yeah, I like the competition of it all, but J. Cole's response isn't going to get it done, unfortunately.
And look, he kept going too. Did you know that? I didn't really know.
Yeah, because he said he's
averaging one hard verse like every 30 months or something. If he wasn't dissing, then we wouldn't be discussing him.
Yeah, we talked about this though. This is the one he copied, or maybe you weren't paying attention, but this is the lines he copied from Takeover with Jay-Z.
You know, I said we talking about it on the podcast. Yeah.
But that was the other part. Yeah, he's using other people's diss lines and his diss. Like, it's just kind of like.
And then to say that he wasn't dissing. If he wasn't dissing, we wouldn't be discussing him. Like, that's crazy, because like, no, like, you brought him up first.
So we were in fact
discussing him. He was hiding out chilling, and you brought up his name in a song. Like, he was like, what? Nigga, don't put. He probably listened to that and then was like, all right, I'm about to pop out, because nigga, don't put me in your conversation about the big 3. Like, no. Ooh, this is about to be good. Ooh, and the thing is, we don't know what's coming out with this Metro Part 2. What if he's on that album again?
Like that, right? Part 2?
Yeah. Oh my God, we don't know what's coming, and that's why they probably shaking in their boots. They probably scared.
Yeah, Drake was putting out words of affirmation to himself on stage, but that's the thing, right? Like, he took down his verse, or retracted his verse, or didn't clear it for BFP, the Pac-Man, whatever his name is. No disrespect. So we'll see what Drake response is, because it's only, and it's, the other thing too is that with the Drake responses, Drake's only ever really went hard at
easy targets.
Meek and Kanye.
Easy targets. Like, come on, look at your GOAT. This nigga attack easy targets. Lame.
It will be very interesting to see him in this context. Not that he can't do it, because anything could happen. He could come out with Smoke Kendrick's boots.
We might have to retract all of this.
No.
Put egg on my face.
Like, he might smoke him. I don't think so personally, but at the same time, we've never seen Drake in a scenario where he's competing with somebody that's on a different pedestal, because, you know, I think Future is like top 10, low-key top 10, at least maybe top 20 most important rappers ever. But
he's not lyrical.
Right. He's a different type of rapper. But what his influence has been on culture, society, and trap music, or just hip hop in general, has been so much more than he gets credit for, that it's actually insane that he doesn't get the credit
He's
that
like literally the top 3.
The creator of some of this shit, like
Thug, him.
Like he's like legend when it comes to music, and people maybe because his lyrical content won't appreciate that, but no, Future has been doing this for a very long time,
like since we were in high school.
Like even before that, like Future's been doing this forever.
The Migos, him, Young Thug, those were like the
before he was even named Future, he was still doing some of this stuff. But we've never seen Drake compete with somebody on this high of a caliber when it comes to rap and sales and streams. He's never gone at anybody at this level, so it'll be interesting to see, because from even, you know, people like to rap, I'm more successful than you, I sold more, whatever, and while he'll always be able to hold that over everybody, it's a little bit different when you're talking to somebody that has sold a significant amount of music as well. That's like, I think Damn has been the longest album on like a something. That Damn run is still crazy like that. And
Kendrick's #1 song as far as streams right now is Humble from Damn.
Yeah. So from a success standpoint, even that's kind of low key hard to do a little bit. But
you can't talk about Kendrick's success, like really, like you can't, like you kind of can, but not really.
Yeah, you can, because Drake is still more successful. Yeah. But at the same time, it's harder to say that when you're talking to him.
And Kendrick comeback could be like, nigga, you dropped 1 million albums. Of course, the more albums you're gonna drop, the more success you're gonna have. Like you dropped 1 million albums, I only have 4, so yeah, of course.
Yeah, but Drake said he hates people that do that.
What?
When people drop, like they pop out every 5 years.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, this could be 2 arguments. Because that could be like you're really mastering your craft, but also it could be like I'm so good I could drop so many albums and they're going to be hits on all of them.
Yeah, because look at SZA. SZA has 2 albums.
SZA has 2, and she's been out for over 10 years, like over a decade.
And look at that. Look at the 2. Look
and Kanye didn't have that many albums until recently, and then he started kind of like, you know, upping the numbers with Donda and Vultures. But prior to Donda, we had like what, 5 from him?
Yeah.
And a collab album was one of those 5. So.
Look at Adele. Adele don't even drop that often either. Like how many?
Like Drake's the only one. Look at Nicki. Nicki only has 4.
Nicki don't drop a lot.
This is like her 4th one. So it was like, man, maybe you money hungry. Maybe you need the money. Maybe you gotta get, you know, the M's count different when Baby divides the pie. So maybe you gotta pay Baby back his money. Maybe that's why you gotta drop so much music.
Yeah, Adele don't really have any. She has 1988, dropped in 2008. 19 that dropped in 2008. 25 was dropped in 2015. 30 was dropped in 2021. And then she dropped 2021 in 2011. So I don't know why that was out of order like that. But yeah, it's about one album every 4 or 5 years. The distance between her 25 album and 30 album was 6 years.
Wow. Yeah. So like if you tried to criticize that, then you're criticizing almost pretty much every legend in the industry. So
even Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson doesn't have that many albums either.
Yeah.
But what he gave you was nuts.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
His discography is insane.
It's literally insane. Like there's like no skips, honestly.
Off the Wall, Thriller. Thriller is nuts.
It's actually scary to me that somebody could be that good at making music. Like it's like it literally insane to me.
Every song.
Virgo.
Every song.
Virgo. We're perfect people.
But every song though.
No, literally.
Everyone like it's no crazy. Like nah we not literally every single song, like this shit is crazy. But anyway, yeah, we'll see what comes from this beef, but I can't wait. Metro's album comes out.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Be looking forward to that, and we don't know what's gonna happen out of that. To be honest, cause obviously Metro has this beef with Drake, so that's gonna be a part of it.
Stay tuned.
And I just wonder what else is gonna come though, like J. Cole anymore. If Drake's gonna say something, because like look, J. Cole's making threats. Like don't make me have to smoke this nigga, cause I fuck with him. But when push comes to shove, I will humble him. I feel like that was a shot too, cause his song Humble. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people didn't catch that part. So it's like, whoa, we so scared of the biracial man. Ooh, she bring me some bus. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't have nothing against biracial people, but I do feel like there is a sensitivity with the ones that are raised by white men. I mean, white men raised by white women as single moms. I do feel like there's something there, but I don't want to get into that. Get people get sensitive about that topic, but I do feel like there is like similarities between him and Drake, and I feel like that's why they're bonding over that. Because you know, when you're raised by a single mom in general, you have more likeliness to be feminine. But then when you're raised by one that's outside of your culture and there's cultural differences that exist, and then you already have a kind of a culture, you already have like an identity crisis because you're a mixed man, but now you're a mixed man who doesn't even get to grow up with their black dad. I'm sure that's when Pusha T broke this down. He surgically and methodically broke this nigga down, Drake. And I feel like there's truth to it. Like there's a lot of identity crises and personal issues you have there. I feel like when you're already a biracial man and then the father figure that you have, who's happens to be the black person, that makes up half of your DNA, is not really around, and you're raised by that single mom. I said mom. Like I'm like
single mom.
Like I'm from freaking the UK.
Top of the morning.
You're single mom.
Single mom.
You're single mom.
That's that white side kicking it.
That's my
yeah. That's that French 8 generations back. To single mom.
You're
right.
annoying.
It's getting late.
No, but I'm saying like
it's getting
that's
time for you to take a nap.
No, but when you really dive down, like dig deep into the root of a man and pride and stuff, there's so many variables there. And there's no, like, people always like this girl on Twitter was like, oh, don't bring, like, why is it about race? But I'm like, first of all, I didn't create the society where everything's about race. Let's blame white people for that. But that is in the society that we live in, unfortunately, that is a factor. That is a thing that we have to, factor in when we're thinking about somebody's personality, their character, their pride. And I do feel like there is something there with both them, with like that kind of identity crisis and like their personal feelings and how they maybe feel towards their blackness and stuff, and just their personalities and like their sensitivity, right? Like people always make that whole light skins are sensitive joke, but I feel like there's real truth to that because of there's kind of a racial thing that comes with it. So I feel like this whole don't make me have to smoke him. Like, ooh, I really don't think. I think Kendrick probably listens to that and laughed. Like, I'm not scared.
Yeah, because why are we still making the? Ooh, don't make me do it.
Yeah, like do it.
Do it then.
Like,
he already called you out. Do it.
He threw enough saludos. This should have been a straight direct diss. Say his name, put an ad on it. Like,
make me have to smoke him. What's stopping you?
Yeah, like it's like
you already were writing this song saying
Kendrick
this whole discography's trash.
Yeah, Kendrick put out he with the warning shots.
Yeah, let's see if you like that.
So anybody who responds to warning shots should be a direct shot. Like, you knows about you. So respond. He said first person shooter. So respond directly. Like, don't make me have to smoke this nigga. Ooh. But when push comes to shove, I will humble him. Humble him how? Like, come on, J. Cole. I like you, but humble him how? Humble him how? Realistically. Like, what is he humbling him on? Who's a better rapper? We can't even humble him on commercial success, realistically. Kendrick still has the better commercial success over J. Cole. Drake, that's a different conversation. If they want to go commercial success versus commercial success. But J. Cole, what is he scared of? Like, I can't. I like J. Cole, so it's crazy that I have this much smoke for him, but I just can't wait to see what's next. Honestly, I just hope it keeps going. I don't want it to stop here. I don't want anybody to be scared. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it going because it's fun. It's funny. Entertaining to me.
That wraps up today's episode. Brought to you by A Couple of Things Podcast Media Company. We will see you guys same time next week. Yeah. Do we have anything else that we want to tell the people?
I feel like we're forgetting something for some reason.
Make sure y'all pay your taxes.
Oh yeah, tax season is coming to an end.
Tax season is coming to an end. Get your
15.
refunds. If you need help with your taxes, I will do them for you for a 10% fee.
I will do them. I'm a CPA in training. A CPA.
How's the training working for you?
I'm studying. I'm studying for the FAR exam.
Have you gotten any questions right just off the rip?
Oh, for the multiple choice questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a lot of them right. Don't be like that.
We're gonna go study right now.
I'm studying tomorrow.
I'm gonna study real hard.
I'm gonna get my CPA in the next 2 years or less. It's gonna be less than 2 years, I think.
Should I pull up the footage when you said this last time?
No, but I'm serious this time. I really am. This is my last chance, really, before I turn 30 and before I have kids. So I have to get it done.
Damn, you pushing 30.
I am. I have less than.
You've accepted it now?
Yeah, I have less than 6 months, so I'm 28 now. So it's like depressing.
You better be 29 next year.
5 months.
It's not even really 5 months. Well,
it is. It's actually less than 5. I mean, it's less than.
Oh yeah, it's April. I don't know why I'm thinking it's May.
Yeah, it's more than 5 months, but less than 6. So
true.
So I'm gonna get my CPA, and I'll do you guys taxes next year at this time. Maybe I'll be a CPA by next year at this time. Maybe. No, I'm not gonna say maybe. We're putting it into the universe. I'll be a CPA in a year. Hold me accountable. Your mom said she's holding me accountable, so you have to hold me accountable too.
No, I don't. I've tried my best, and you just ignore me.
You're living with me, so it's easier for you to hold me.
But you ignore me anytime I try to do it. How many times have I held you accountable? And I made
but really do it this time. Like really do it. Like be like, no, go study.
But also do it for yourself.
I know. But I am different. Look, you saw me doing it on the car.
That's it. That's all you need. You don't
need
me.
Earnings per share.
You don't know me. I've been staring at that.
Diluted earnings per share versus basic.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been the A Couple of Things podcast where we talked about a couple of things.
Convertible
and we
bonds,
will see y'all next week.
Common stock.